example, make or buy decision, further processing decisions. And then you should be able to explain qualitative factors when you make decision. Okay, this is decision making cycle. Remember, previously I already explained, okay, before you prepare budget, you start from mission and vision, you translate into several objectives. Okay, you set objective in order to achieve your mission and vision. Okay, that means you identify your objective. So after you identify your objective, you need to identify alternative which might contribute towards achieving them. Okay, you identify alternative which might contribute toward achieving your objective. And then you collect and analyze relevant data on each option. Okay, for example, let's say you have 3 objectives. Okay, objective 1, objective 2, and objective 3. And then step number 2, you identify alternative which might contribute towards achieving this objective. Let's say objective 1, you have 2 alternatives. Objective 2, maybe you have 3 alternatives. Objective 3, maybe you have 2 alternatives. Okay, so next step, you collect, analyze data on each option. So on each option, on each alternative, okay, let's say alternate, these are all your alternative. Okay, so on each of these alternative, you collect data and then you analyze the data. Then only you make decision and you state expected results. Okay. After you collect and analyze data, then you choose which one. Okay. Which activities you should implement so that you can achieve objective. So alternative is actually your activities. Okay. Represent your activities. Activities that you want to implement so that you can achieve your objective. Finally, you implement your decision. Okay, let's say for objective 1, you decide to implement alternative 2 or maybe activities 2. For objective 2, you will implement activities 3. Okay, then you implement your decision. So now control comes into the picture. Remember, control system, you have 2. You have a feedback control system and feed-forward control system. Each feedback control system, after you implement the decision, okay, after you complete the process, then you analyze the results. If you have negative results, you take corrective actions so that in the future, that problems will not occur again. But if you apply feed-forward control system, okay, after you implement your decision, after you make a decision, you implement your decision, from time to time, you analyze, okay, the process. If you can trigger negative performance that may occur in the future, then you take corrective action immediately to prevent that problems, okay, from happen. So at the end of the period, you will get good results. That one under feed-forward control system. Okay, now uncertainties in decision making. We look at reason, changes within short and long term, technique to be used. Okay, what is decision under uncertainty? Okay, a decision under uncertainty is when there are many unknowns, okay, and no possibility of knowing what could occur in the future that can alter the outcomes of the decision. So situations of uncertainty arise when there can be more than one possible consequences. You have too many consequences of selecting any course of actions. That means you have too many options. Okay, so in that case, you may make decision under uncertainty, ketidakpastian. Reason for uncertainty may be due to global recession, loss of liquidity which lead to credit crisis, regulatory risk attribute to changing policy environments of the company or maybe of the country, economic failure of the country, natural disasters such as earthquake, tsunami, flash flood, financial market instability, technological change, Okay, outbreak of virus. Okay, risk in is the potential that decision will lead to variation. When you make decision to achieve result A, but then you achieve B. You make a decision to produce 10,000 units product, but maybe you produce less. Why? Because during the production process, maybe your machinery shut down. Your machine broke down. So when your machine broke down, you need to make a decision whether you want to buy new machine, or maybe you want to rent from supplier, or maybe you want to repair the machine. Okay, so you make decision immediately. So that one is known as tactical decision making. Okay, risk and decision making are two interrelated factors in organizational management, and they are both related to various uncertainty. All managers make decisions under each condition, but risk and uncertainty are common to more complex and unstructured problems. So decisions are made under condition of certainty when you have perfect knowledge, okay, of all the information needed to make decision. That means you want to make decision, you have two options, you have perfect knowledge regarding each option. Then you can make decision under certainty. Okay. However, if you have limited knowledge of current conditions or future outcomes, but that means if you have limited knowledge, you still need to make decision. But in this case, we make decision under uncertainty. Okay, manager often deal with uncertainty in their work to minimize the risk of that decision, to minimize the risk that their decision will lead to undesired outcomes. Okay, and then they also need to develop skills and judgment necessary for reducing this uncertainty. So from time to time, manager need to develop their skills and also judgment that necessary to reduce risk when they make decision. Okay, reduce risk as well as uncertainty. Okay, techniques. What are the techniques that we have? The first one, cost benefit analysis, decision tree, Pareto analysis, and decision metric. Whichever technique you use, okay, should be determined by the situation. Or to select the technique, you look at the situation, number of options, and types of data available. Okay, then you choose which technique. But for your level, for MA 551, okay, we cover the first technique only, cost benefit analysis. The other technique you will learn next semester, not next semester. Maybe when you do paper math, okay, under part 5, 6 or part 7. Part 8 you go for practical training, right? Okay, these are the decision that you manager normally involved with. Okay, maybe they will set selling price. Okay, when you set selling price, you can use absorption costing, marginal costing, relevant cost concept, or you can use target costing. This one you will learn under topic 5 later. Okay, you will evaluate less profitable product or less profitable department. Maybe you want to shut down one of your department, continue or delete segment. When you have sales mix, you produce A, B, C. So A, product B, product C. Which one you should produce more? Okay. And then you make decision whether to make the product, produce the product internally or buy from other supplier, resell your product. Or maybe you want to sell your product now, or you further process and you sell later. Okay, maybe you want to accept or reject your special order. So for all issues, when you make decision, you must always refer to relevant information. So relevant information can be relevant cost or relevant benefit. Okay, decision making concern with future and involve choosing between available alternative or options. So when you make decision, make sure you consider both financial and non-financial factor. Financial factor, as I explained earlier, okay, it refers to quantitative factor. For example, profitability, contribution, sales revenue, anything that relates with RM or monetary value. And then sometimes you also need to consider non-financial factor. That is our qualitative factor. For example, morale of employee. Let's say you plan to shut down one of your restaurant. Let's say you run restaurant in 5 different places. Now, one of the place, if you look at records for the past 5 years, okay, it shows negative results. So you plan to shut down your restaurant, one of your restaurant. And then, so the qualitative factor, you need to consider what happened to the morale of your employee. If you retrench them, okay, what happened to them? You can pay retrenchment benefit, you can pay to them. Retrenchment benefit is quantitative factor. However, how about their morale? Okay, after 1 year, after 6 months, how they're going to survive? Okay, and then how about demand or customer, your current customer for that particular area, locations? Okay, can you value relationship? Okay, between you and your customer? No, you cannot value in monetary value. So it is actually qualitative factor that we need to consider. Is there any legal implications and government regulations? The relevant cost is also known as differential cost or incremental cost. Those costs that will be affected by the decision. Decision making is concerned with choosing between future alternative costs of action. Therefore, some costs or past costs are not relevant. For example, depreciation. Okay, now look at this example. An individual is uncertain whether he should purchase a monthly rail ticket to travel to work or use his own car, assuming that he will keep the car at home if he travel by train. So the objective is to work. Okay, this is your objective. So option that you have, you travel by train, option 1, or you travel by your own car, option 2. Okay, let's say assuming that you keep your car at home if you travel by train. Okay, in terms of cost, whether tickets, let's say tickets revenue, tickets cost, tickets for train. Okay, tickets for train. Is it relevant or irrelevant? If you travel by train, you pay tickets. If you travel by car, you choose second option, you don't have to buy tickets. So it change according to options. It differ between two alternatives. So it is relevant. How about your petrol? Petrol cost for your car. If you travel by car, you buy petrol. If you travel by train, you don't have to buy petrol. So petrol cost change according to petrol cost differ between these two options. Therefore, it is also relevant. How about road tax for your car? Road tax for your car, is it relevant? Today you pay road tax, you can use your car today until 12 months period. Okay, whether you travel by train or you travel by car, you already paid your road tax. So the cost you cannot change. If you travel by train, okay, you cannot save cost, road tax cost you cannot save because you already paid, it is past cost. Therefore, road tax is irrelevant in this case. Okay, now features of relevant cost. The first one, cost that will be incurred in the future. Past cost is irrelevant. Number 2, it arises as direct consequences of decision. That means it must differ between alternative. Remember tickets, train tickets just now. If you travel by train, you will pay tickets. If you travel by car, you don't have to pay tickets. So it differ between alternative. Therefore, it is relevant. Number 3, only cash flow information is relevant. Non-cash items such as depreciation or fixed overhead absorbed are irrelevant. Example of irrelevant costs, sunk costs, for example, costs that have been incurred such as RnD cost. Okay, let's say next month you plan to introduce new product. Okay, so now you incurred research and development costs, you produce sample, you distribute to consumer, and then you get their feedback. Okay, whether next month you introduce or not your new product, so R&D cost you cannot alter anymore. Therefore, it is irrelevant. Number 2, commitment cost. Future cost flows because of commitment agreed in the past. Last years, for the past 10 years, Okay, last 10 years you make agreement to pay rental for 25 years. Now, year 10 already, you have another 15 years. Okay, so you have to pay. So it will not alter your decision. Number 3, notional cost. For example, notional rent charged to a subsidiary also irrelevant. Okay, now we look at cost statement, cost determination, whether this particular cost item relevant or irrelevant. Okay, so we need to consider several conditions. Okay, so when you set minimum price, you refer to total relevant costs. You must consider all relevant costs. Past costs are excluded. Okay, in terms of material, let's say currently normally you sell your product at 10 ringgit each. Okay, currently you receive order from a customer but they want to pay you 8 ringgit each. So you want to let's say this is known as special order. You want to decide whether you want to accept special order or not. If you accept, let's say you have to buy material, okay, because you don't have material in stock. Therefore, let's say if you buy material, maybe you have to pay 3 ringgit. So relevant cost for material is 3 ringgit. However, if you accept a special order, you have to produce the product, you can use material in store. Let's say you already have material in store, but this material is meant for regular production. Okay, you regularly use that particular material. So if you use to produce order, let's say we know your customer as Syarikat ABC. If you produce if you decide to produce product for ABC, then you need to replace your material. Let's say if you replace material, maybe due to short notice, you have to pay 3 ringgit 50 cents. Previously, you buy material at maybe 2 ringgit. Okay, so in this situation, you already have two price, 2 ringgit or 3 ringgit 50 cent relevant. Okay, so 2 ringgit is past cost, it is irrelevant. Therefore, your relevant cost is 3 ringgit 50 cent. Other condition, if you use that material, let's say you don't have to replace. Just now you have to replace. But now other condition, let's say you don't have to replace. Then you need to consider another two issue whether that particular material have alternative use or not. If that particular material does not have alternative use, so material cost is 0. But if that material, let's say you can sell at scrap value 1 ringgit each. You have material in store, whereby you can sell at scrap value 1 ringgit each. If you accept the order from ABC Sdn Bhd, then you cannot sell your material. You need to let go 1 ringgit. Therefore, relevant cost for material in this case is 1 ringgit. Okay. But if you have more than one alternative use, that maybe you can the value of the material, if it being used in second alternative, maybe instead of sell at scrap value, you can use as substitute to other material, and then you can, let's say you can save cost 1 ringgit 20 cent. So now both are relevant, because if you accept the order, you don't have extra material, you cannot sell at scrap value, you cannot use as substitute to other product. Okay, so you will let go both. So when you let go, you will choose the highest value, the best benefit foregone if you accept the order. Okay, now I give you 2 minutes. Okay, try illustration 1, 2, and 3. 2 minutes. Try simple illustration. Illustration 1, illustration 2, and illustration 3. Okay, a company receive an order to supply goods to customer which requires it to use inventory already available in store. The materials were originally purchased at 90 cents per unit. If the material are not used for this order, it could be sold at 1 ringgit 10 cent. Okay, so 90 cent is actually our sunk cost. Sunk cost is irrelevant. And then alternative use for material is 1 ringgit 10 cent. This is relevant cost. Okay, sales scrap value that we need to sacrifice if we accept the order. Suppose the above materials could be used on another job, and if used in this order, it will need to be replaced. We are told that the current replacement cost is 1 ringgit 30 cent. Okay, in this case, the relevant cost of material is 1 ringgit 30 cent. Okay, your current replacement cost. Assume now that the material could be used in another production that will lead to possible saving 1 ringgit per unit, or you can sell at scrap value. Okay, you can sell at 1 ringgit 10 cent, not scrap value. Okay, price increase as compared to previously you bought at 90 cents. If it is used for this order, the firm will have to sacrifice both potential saving and also sales proceed. Okay, so both are relevant. Okay, both are relevant, but when you have more than one relevant cost, take the highest benefit. Okay, 1 ringgit 10 cent is cost of material in this situation. The benefit foregone, the next best alternative. Now regarding labor, okay, in general, variable overhead of labor and its associated overhead cost is relevant. Okay, for example, your hourly rate and also overtime pay. And then contribution foregone for not being able to fulfill the alternative or also considered as relevant cost for labor. Okay, now look at sixth condition. The first condition, if we are in excess supply, labor cost is irrelevant. If labor wages is guaranteed irrespective of workload, labor cost also irrelevant. Okay, irrelevant means when you calculate minimum price, you exclude the value because it is irrelevant. Number 3, if casual labor is used or labor hired on daily basis, labor cost likely to be increased due to additional work and decrease when production is reduced. So in this case, labor cost is relevant. Number 4, if full capacity and if you are in full capacity, overtime is allowed. So both hourly rate and overtime is relevant. Okay. And then number 5, if now you are in full capacity, that means you have not enough labor, but overtime is not allowed. Okay, so production might be affected or cut down, which will result in loss of contribution. Okay, so loss of contribution is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is relevant, and then hourly rate also relevant. So in situation condition number 5, you have two costs for labor. Okay, your benefit foregone and also hourly rate for labor. Number 6, indirect labor, increase or decrease is relevant if it affects directly on the decision made. This is regarding labor. Okay, now regarding overhead costs. Okay, variable overhead is relevant, fixed overhead is irrelevant. General fixed overhead is irrelevant. Okay, however, if you have additional or incremental fixed overhead, it is relevant. For example, just now, if you accept the order, let's say you have to rent special machine. When you rent special machine, okay, you have to pay 1,000. So rental for machinery is a fixed cost, but it is relevant. Why it is relevant? Because it is incremental fixed cost. If you reject the order, you don't have to pay 1,000. If you accept the order, you have to pay 1,000. Okay, now look at comprehensive illustration. Precision Berhad. Precision Berhad manufactures machine part for clients in Klang Valley and beyond. Recently, the manager received a call from a customer requesting 200 units of a machine part called X, be manufactured and rushed to him. The following are the requirements to manufacture 1 unit of X. Okay, to produce 1 unit X, it requires 3 types of material, 3 types of labor, and then you also incur variable and fixed overhead costs. Then they give you notes number 1 until number 10. Requirement, calculate minimum price that the company should charge to produce 200 machine parts. So minimum price equivalent to total relevant cost. But information number 10, as a matter of pricing policy, the company expect to make 40% of all relevant costs. So in this case, minimum price, you must add 40% profit. And then show all relevant calculation and give reasons for each of the costs. Okay, for each of the costs that you consider relevant or irrelevant. Okay, now before you read together notes number 1 until number 10, can you please draw this table? One column for cost item, another column for calculation, last column for reasons. Okay, now look at first notes. The company presently has sufficient tin on hand, which was purchased at 15 ringgit per kilo last year. Okay, for its normal production. So you bought last year 15 ringgit. This is sunk cost. Sunk cost is irrelevant. Since the order is urgent, okay, 200 kilograms of tin has been reserved for this order. Estimated price of tin is 16 ringgit per kilo at current market price. Okay, so 1 unit requires 1 kilogram. 1 kilogram, if you use, you need to replace. Why? Because it is for normal production. Okay, so when you replace, you have to pay at 16 ringgit. Therefore, okay, cost item is tin. 16 ringgit multiplied by 200 kilograms, you will get 3,002. So 15 ringgit is irrelevant because this is past cost. 16 ringgit is relevant because this is current market price. When you use tin, in this case, you need to replace because material install was bought for normal production. Okay, material install was bought for normal production. Number 2, 30 kilograms of chopper were purchased at 6 ringgit 50 cents per kilo last year. Again, this is last year. That means it is sunk cost for the company's normal production. Okay, during the current year, the price is expected to average to 7 ringgit. Therefore, chopper 100 kilograms multiplied by 7 ringgit. Why do you need to replace? 7 ringgit is replacement cost that is relevant because material install material that we bought last year, chopper that we bought last year is meant for normal production. If we use for this order, we need to replace. Number 3, 30 kilograms of special alloy were ordered at 20 ringgit per kilo for a special job, which was complete recently. Okay, you bought 330 kilograms at 20 ringgit. Okay, so 20 ringgit is sunk cost because you bought last year. Then you still have balance. Okay, you still have balance 10 kilograms. Okay, 10 kilograms of special alloy is still available and can be used to produce these 200 machine parts. Total requirements 1/8 multiplied by 200 means 25 kilograms. Okay, 10 kilograms you can use. So balance means 15 kilograms you have to buy. Okay, the alloy if not used can be sold as scrap at 8 ringgit. So this 10 kilogram you can sell, okay, you can sell as scrap value at 8 ringgit. If you use to produce the product, you cannot sell as, you will not get scrap value. Therefore, relevant cost for 10 kilogram is 8 ringgit. The balance 15 kilogram you have to buy and then you have to pay 30 ringgit. Okay, now you have three price. 20 ringgit is irrelevant because under reason column, because this is past cost. Scrap value 8 ringgit is relevant because this is amount that the company need to sacrifice if they accept the order. And then 30 ringgit is relevant for 15 kilograms because this is current replacement cost. Okay, so total is 530 for a special alloy. Now regarding direct skill labor, okay, direct skill labor will be paid at rate 5 ringgit per hour. In order to complete special order on time, half of the required number of unskilled labor can be obtained only on an overtime basis at 1.5 of the normal rate. So if they do OT, you pay them 1.5 of normal rate. That means 7 ringgit 50 cents. Okay, so direct skill labor, 1 unit requires 3 hours. So you produce 200 means 600 in total. Hours required is 600 hours. Half means 300 hours. You pay them salary at 5 ringgit. Another half, okay, you pay them overtime. Okay, at overtime pay 7 ringgit 50 cent. Then total is 3750. Okay, 3750. Number 5, direct semi-skilled labor is paid at 7 ringgit per hour, but it is part of permanent workforce. At present, the company has temporary excess supply of this labor. Therefore, direct semi-skilled labor is irrelevant. The value is 0. Reason, because 7 ringgit is irrelevant because this is salary paid to paid for permanent workforce, and furthermore, the company has excess supply. Okay, number 6, direct skill labor is paid at 9 ringgit per hour. At present, the supply of this labor cannot be increased significantly as they are engaged in another job, which requires 3 hours of such labor per unit and give contribution 39 ringgit per hour. So contribution margin per hour is actually 39 divided by 3, 13 ringgit. So direct semi-skilled labor, 1 unit requires 1 hour. You produce 200 units means 200 hours. Okay, 200 hours. So hourly rate, okay, hourly rate based on 200 hours, you multiply by 9, and then contribution foregone, contribution from another job, you need to let go. Okay, contribution foregone 13 ringgit for 200 hours. So you total up, you will get total labor cost for direct semi-skilled labor 4,400. Okay, 9 ringgit is relevant because this is hourly rate for labor, and then 39 ringgit per unit or 13 ringgit per hour also relevant because this is benefit foregone for accepting the order. Number 7, variable overhead 2 ringgit per hour. So you multiply by 5 hours per unit and 200 units. So 2 ringgit is variable overhead. 2 ringgit variable overhead is relevant cost. Okay, because it change according to output produced. Number 8, special malt will have to be purchased to manufacture this product. The company can obtain this at very short notice at cost of 450. Transportation cost is expected to be 50. So cost of special malt is 500. So in this case, special malt is considered as incremental fixed cost. So under reason, incremental fixed cost is relevant. Number 9, fixed overhead. Fixed factory overhead is estimated to be 288,000 a year. The capacity of the factory is 48,000 per hours per year. So fixed overhead is irrelevant. Okay, cost item you write fixed overhead, RM value you write 0. And then under reason, fixed overhead cost in general is irrelevant. Okay, and then you total up this column, you will get total relevant cost 15,080 ringgit. And then you multiply by 1.4 or you add 40%. Okay, you multiply by 40%, you add back 15,080. Or you can straight away 15,080 multiply by 1.4. Then you will get minimum price for 200 machine parts. Okay, that's all. So next class on Monday, no class. Okay, we don't have class on Monday. Wait. Let me stop recording first. Okay, on Monday we don't have class. Cuti kan, public holiday. So Thursday, okay, Thursday, please bring Ironworks Company 007 and Integrity Berhad. Please bring these 3 questions. Okay, we will do within 40 minutes on Thursday. And then the following week, we will discuss tutorial questions. After your test 1, okay, after your test 1, we will do Asia Jaya Dunkin Donut further processing decision. Okay. Jadi next week masih lagi lecture. These are all illustration that we need to do during class actually. After that, I assign question you do on your own, we discuss the answer. Tetapi next week, Monday tak boleh buat, jadi kita buat pada hari Khamis lah. Bawa 3 soalan. So within 45 minutes kita boleh cover 3 soalan saja. Itu pun bukan you buat sendirilah, yang akan explain dan kita buat sama-sama dalam kelas. Okay, bawa 3 soalan ni So yang lagi 3 warna hitam tu lepas test baru you buat. Jadi kita ada Thursday next week. Okay, kita akan buat 3 soalan ni. And then the following week, that means week ni adalah week 7, week 8 nanti. Monday, kita akan buat tutorial questions. Okay, dan juga Thursday pun kita akan buat tutorial question. And then Friday 27 May, you jawab test 1. Okay, nanti week 9 baru I sambung dengan special order, lecture on special order, lecture on apa lagi further processing, delay and continue. Okay, untuk next week Thursday tu I akan sambung lecture on relevant cost, lagi make or buy dan juga limiting factor. Okay, test cover sampai yang inilah. Test cover sampai yang ini. So week 9 baru masuk baki dia lah. Lecture dan tutorial. Kemudian kita habislah topik ini. Okay, kelas. Ada apa-apa nak tanya?